Ladies, you are enough. Actually, you're probably overqualified, but let's start the day off humble. That is a quote you're going to find on the website of today's special guest, Petula Sankarsingh. So buckle in. I'm awesome Angie Engstrom.
And I'm Kira. And welcome to Momentum Makers Podcast, Petula. We're so thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies. You guys are amazing. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Oh, we're so glad to have you here. And listen up, audience out there, listeners, because we know that Petula, she's got a lot of knowledge, and I'm sure she's going to be sharing a lot of great nuggets with us. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, for those of you who don't know Petula already, let me just share a little bit about her. Petula is actually a serial entrepreneur with more than 50 years of expertise. She specializes in driving transformative change. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in business. And today she seamlessly blends her academic knowledge with the many years of practical experience. Today, Petula is actually on a mission to help and empower women find their voice, thereby increasing their self-confidence and their purpose so they can live the lifestyle they desire. As she likes to put, I love this. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So awesome.
Yes. Well,
Welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome.
You.
Hey, we're excited to have you here. So, for our listeners, in about like just a little 10-second overview, what is your business? And then we'll get into the story.
So, Vision Ready, we support women and actually adolescent girls in their journey through life. So, from women, we like to put them on a positive path to liberating themselves to live the lifestyle they desire. I say fall in love with yourself again, right? And appreciate who you are. And this is something that I can't remember when I've been preaching this and been very, very strongly attached to supporting women and girls for a long, long time since I've actually moved to this United States.
Wow. So, where are you originally from?
Originally from Trinidad.
Oh, neat. Okay. Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
You came to the
Yes, yes,
United
yes. All
States,
right.
and you started your business once you
Yes.
came stateside then.
So no, so my journey has been really incredible, but there was a lot of ups and downs and learning, and where now I know that, what my purpose is in life, and that is again supporting women and girls. So my transition from Trinidad to the United States, I was young, and probably about 7. Um, I dealt with it was the one of the hardest transitions that me and my sister had to make. We dealt with a lot of racism, bullying, you name it. Like we dealt with so much stuff being in a new environment throughout our time, in the United States, from starting off and then, just building through high school to college. It just went in different levels, right? And then for me, I started a mentor program for young girls, for adolescent girls in Chicago, actually, with like YMCA programs as well as some high schools, because I wish that when I came that I had like a mentor to guide me through like everything that was happening, and not, being more aware of what was happening, and you'll get through it, right? So that's what I did. And one of the projects I did was um from my book, A Love Letter to Me, Building Healthy Self-Esteem for Women and Girls. I had 40 women write a love letter to their younger selves and tell their journey and what advice they would give their younger selves to an adolescent girl. So with that program, I was able to impact a lot of young girls' lives. We did vision boarding, we did exercises so that they could know that they could, be whoever they want, to be the leader that they wanted. So that was like extremely rewarding. And then I got removed from that because I was always in the nonprofit world, and that was kind of like my side thing. And then eventually, 4 years ago, after moving to Florida, I launched Vision Ready, and I've been working primarily with women and starting back the girls program here with some organizations.
Oh, that's exciting. Oh my goodness. That's
Yes, yes, yes,
wonderful.
yes.
Did you come
Mhm.
directly from Trinidad to Chicago area then?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so at the time you had to get someone. So my mom's brother lived in Chicago. Well, let's say the Chicagoland area because he was in Evanston. and and he at the time, you have to apply for visas in order to move to the States. You had to go through a process. So he applied for us, and that's why we ended up in Chicago. That's how we ended up in Chicago.
Chicago is so diverse. Like there's
You
every
know.
walk of life in Chicago, Chicago and Chicagoland, both. But for you listeners out there, we were talking in the pre-meeting, in the pre-show about the difference between Chicago and Chicagoland. There is a difference. So Chicagoland is the suburbs. But if you say you're from Chicago, that means Chicago city property. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Yes, for
Awesome.
sure.
Yeah. Gidi, do you have any questions for her?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking if you would talk a little about your entrepreneurial journey. When did that start, and how
Sure.
did it start? And yeah.
I feel like I've been a serial entrepreneur for so long. When I was in Chicago, I got really into wine. And I worked for a wine company at one point, and in 2009, I had started my first company, which was a wine and food tasting events company. So that journey, and then I always did the girls project on the side, right? So the company I was working with for the wines, they were called Wines for Humanity. So what they did was they raised money for women and children, right? So it was kind of like a fit with my passion, but then I also loved wine. So I went through getting certified in wine, and I taught wine classes for a while. So I really loved that. And I still do part of that. But my purpose I know in life, and it took me a while though, because I kept felt like I was going every year, starting over and coming back to it, is definitely helping women and girls, get out their own way. Kind of like, like girls are, I feel that women are natural born leaders, right? It's just how, we move through life, and removing that self-doubt, removing anything that's stopping us from being the best version of ourselves.
I love
So that's how it all started back in 2009. And then now it morphed into Vision Ready, where I'm just solely focusing on, you know, the support of women and girls.
And I love your background, like your upbringing really supports that work that you're doing now with Vision Ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in my world, culturally, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you don't exist. It's like entrepreneur, what? You're crazy. So I had to, I never had the support of my family doing any of this because they're just like, you're what? You're an entrepreneur. What does that even mean? So I've had to learn myself to navigate, like, okay, they may never understand, but they're my family, and they're always there for me, but they just not there in the way that I would like them to be there for me, right? In their own way. So I have to accept their own way, right? But it took me a minute to do that. So that was like part of me working through the family dynamics into staying true to what I want to do and my purpose.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good for you for staying true. It sounds like it's phenomenal work that you're doing. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Very cool. Um, anything else, Gidi?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about how you help these women today. Because I know you have a process. I know you have certain things you do with these women to help them. So
Yes. So one of our biggest programs is a journaling program. I'm a very holistic, I don't like to say coach, but a holistic approach to any of the healing. And I like to provide tools for women to start that journey. And one of the tools is journaling. Next is meditation. And also when you combine both of those aspects to it, you start going through like your emotional awareness. You'll start tapping into your self-compassion, like your core value, like your self-acceptance. It's this journey, right? But we have like structured programs that if people are interested to dive deeper, they can. But if you just want to start from just a small part, just take 2 minutes out your day. It doesn't take that long. And write something to yourself, like release your day, something good, something that didn't serve you that day. And then when you go back and you read it throughout the week, like let's say Friday, or for me, I do it every Sunday. I'll read back how, what I wrote in my journal for the week. And then I'll see if there was a pattern. I'll see if there's things that maybe triggered me through the week, or, how my week went overall. And it helps me to identify, you know, my mindset, where I need to work on and what need to adjust, to just have a happier me, right? Happier Petula in the journey through it. So journaling, I would say, is so important, as well as meditation. Meditation for me is my core. If I don't meditate every day, I actually feel it. Like, I like feel like I'm not balanced. And I've just been doing it for so long, over 10 years. So at first, ladies, when you do try it, you're gonna probably have monkey brain. You're probably gonna be all over the place with it. But take your time. It doesn't matter. Like I said, if it's start off with 30 seconds, then it goes to a minute, then it keeps changing. It'll bring you value in the long run. It helps with stress. It helps with um anything that may come up in your life. So those are two major things I would suggest that they women start with. And then if they want to dive deeper, please reach out to me. Just have a conversation. That doesn't cost anything to have a conversation. And we could see where you're at.
I love it. Thank you for those tips. That's really,
yeah,
and
so
I
powerful.
love how you amplified. It only takes 30 seconds. Like just start there. Like
Yeah,
Yes.
take the win. Just take the win.
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
And
Angie's so right.
how often do women not?
Mm.
Very often. They
Yes.
just, I mean, that's the whole part of being too much in your head, right? It's, how long I've been trying to get my sister to do it. And she's like, I can't concentrate. I can't do this. And she finally started doing it. I'm talking like a couple months ago. And she's like, okay, I see what you're talking about now.
But isn't it funny how women will drag their feet and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think us women, we often have a tendency to prioritize everybody else. And oh, I
Yes.
don't
Yep,
have time
very
for
true.
this. I'm just gonna not do this.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
I,
and that's so important that you said that, because we always put ourselves last, right? There's the
mhm.
family, there's the kids, there's the parents, there's, whatever else before us. And we have to get into the habit of take 4 hours throughout the week, however that looks like for you. If it's one day or if it's an hour a day, however, and just unplug from everybody else but yourself. That's my message to women. Just, you're capable, you're worthy, and you're deserving of success. So you need to take that time to water your own soul.
That's
Mm.
awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when my son was little, my favorite
Uh,
room was the bathroom because I could lock the door and just like be
yeah.
alone for just a few minutes.
I know the feeling.
See, you get away wherever you can.
I'll take the win. Oh man. And you can
Yes,
see I
I
like
love that.
plants. So my bathroom was filled with plants at that time. So my little
Yay.
sanctuary.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Do what do what you can with what you got. So
Yes,
Mm,
yes, yes. Yeah,
exactly.
I know for the longest, like when I worked with other organizations, and then, it became toxic, or I was just giving my all towards those organizations and wasn't feeling, like I was appreciated. I didn't feel like I had a voice. And being a woman for one, and then a woman of color, right? Not being seen or recognized for anything that you did. You're just like, okay, am I here? Hello, everybody,
right.
right? I internalized all that and I literally got physically sick. So,
Mm.
that's what I would tell women as well, is be mindful of that. If there's something that doesn't feel right to you, make sure you adjust it. Find your rhythm. Find back to who you are, because don't ever let anybody else take your peace is really important.
Mm.
Amen. I love that. Don't take my
Mhm.
peace. Yes. It's so
Right?
important. So important. Let me ask you real quick, and then I want to hear a couple success stories. But in terms of, oh shoot, the question just flew out of my head. Tell me a success story, and my question will come back.
Sure.
Talk about some of the women, and without, obviously you can change names or whatever,
Sure.
but for privacy. But I'd love to hear some stories.
Sure. So one of the stories I can recall off the top of my head was a young lady who, when she was adolescent at the time, she was so excited. She was like a daddy's girl, right? And she was so excited for this dance she was going to. And her and her mom went shopping to buy a dress, and it was a red dress, and she was so excited to try it on and show her dad. So she did, and she tried it on, and she's like, look, dad, here's, my dress for the dance. And this one comment and one word affected her whole entire life till her 50s. He was basically like, oh, you look fat and red.
Oh.
And it destroyed her. And the story she told throughout her journey was incredible, but the success was, she's 52, she owns her own fashion magazine, she's a size 12, and she's rocking it out. It
Love
was
that.
so amazing. Like, she is
Ah.
fully confident now. She owns her own brand. I mean, she's just like owning her her authentic self. But she went through that journey through life, not thinking that she was good enough with, body image, thinking she was fat, having men, use her because she didn't have confidence. So it was definitely, a great story she shared, and very, very raw. But the good news is she's now a successful business owner, owning her own fashion brand and magazine. So
That's fantastic.
yes.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
that.
Yes.
this. Yeah.
It's fascinating how little comments, like you said, one word spoken
Mm.
when
One
she
word.
was a little girl can just lock on and change the
Mm-hmm.
trajectory of everything. It's
Mm.
amazing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then, in the present day, for like some of the women I've worked with now dealing with toxic workplaces, where, you know, they are feeling like they have to down themselves, or I do something called unmute her, or not, have their voice and be heard, or, if they're in a boardroom and they're just agreeing and saying yes, whether they do or not. So I help women navigate what that looks like for them. And it's okay to speak up. It's okay to have an opinion, but it's just how you bring it into the conversation.
Mm.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, women have been able to change unhealthy situation into something more healthy, and then start, back to believing to who they were, and advance and got a better job at a different place or a healthier space, or went on their own. Like one woman, a woman, she was beat down so bad, and she had self-doubt and imposter syndrome. I mean, you name it, she was going through it. And then we worked together, and she finally came to the point where she was like, what, I'm putting in all this time, I'm going to start my own brand. And she's so successful right now. She's been in business for years, and just doing her thing.
Love that. I love the stories. So
Yeah, such amazing results. This is awesome. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
all right, Gidi.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you a question about I guess some women, they don't want to work with you, and what would be their typical objection?
Work with me.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah, okay, so
yeah, the why, what, yeah.
if they're struggling with identifying who they really truly are, or
Mm,
they're currently dealing with workplace toxic, or organization, or any place, or newly divorced and trying to figure out who they are, or just like you've lost yourself in the mix of children and husband, and you're like, okay, who am I? Trying to get back into their own song, their own rhythm, and like I said, fall in love with yourself again. So it doesn't hurt to just reach out to me and have a conversation and decide, if it's a path and journey you would like to take to be a better version of you and a happier version. Because I think that life's too short to not live the life you truly want or desire. And I like to just promote happiness.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Any final comments or thoughts that are lingering in the back of your mind, Petula, that you want to make sure that the listeners hear before we ask you the final question?
Sure. Will say, it's important to believe in yourself and your abilities, even when it feels challenging. Embrace your unique strengths and experiences, and know that you have what it takes to achieve your goals, and surround yourself with positivity. It's important to surround yourself with what I like to say, my tribe, people that are going to have your back, and be beside you, whether you're successful or not, or through that journey, your up and downs. So I think that's really important.
Such
Yeah.
a positive message. I love it.
Yes. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, number
You're
two,
welcome.
you've been mentioning that people can get a call with you, but how do they reach out to you if they want to know more or work with you, perhaps?
Yeah, they could visit my site, which is visionready.net, or just email me directly, which is petula@visionready.net.
Ah. So that's visionready.net if you want to connect with Petula.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. We've been so happy to have you on the show today. I think you've given so much value. I think it's been so fascinating. So thank you so much for coming on, Petula.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, ladies. I really enjoyed talking to both of you. You guys are a lot of fun and very nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
let's wrap it up. I'm Gita Hadka.
And I'm awesome Angie Engstrom. And thanks for listening, and keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you want to learn more about Elite Virtual Stages and what Gidi and I do, helping businesses scale using virtual events, you can find us on Facebook or the web at elitevirtualstages.com/report. And you can learn all about that there. Once again, Petula, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
yeah, super fun. Have a great day, everybody. Keep your
You
momentum.
too.